We knew when we built this car, when we started driving it, this car was going to be brutally fast. No matter where we took it.
We all talked and said, what if we had separate tracks that we could go show how dominant this car was?
We want to pick these extremely prestigious, very famous tracks. We're not shying away from the fact that the race cars have been there and people know those lap times. We're not shying away from the competitive times that are out there.
It's a big undertaking to rent tracks across the country and travel people and ship parts and cars. It's not for the faint of heart.
We want to set the bar extremely high. We're not trying to make this easy on ourselves. As development drivers, we don't do this stuff that often. Most of what we do is you're purposely leaving some capacity in the car, right? You're trying to remember, here's the issues I had, here's what I need to go fix. It's very different when you're trying to do a fast lap, and every 10th matters.
It's got 1,000 horsepower. It's got the most downforce we've ever put on a Corvette. We created a monster.
Balancing development driving versus outright pace driving, it's something you have to learn because you want to drive underneath the car. You don't want to drive at the maximum effort of the car until it's time to do that.
There aren't many times where you get to get in a car and just run a lap record.
But given one chance, you do get that opportunity to full send. What can you do?
This is Road America Fast Laps Day 2, Brian Wallace in 34-35.
It's known for being a pretty challenging track because the speeds are ridiculous. I think we're over 178 miles an hour 3 times on that track per lap. Road America is known to have a corner called the Kink. Not a lot of margin for error. There's been a lot of spectacular accidents there. And from all my racing background, I was very familiar with the corner and knew how to immediately approach the corner to get the maximum out of the car. For me, that was definitely one of the most challenging parts of the track because it leads onto a relatively long straightaway. Any min speed you lose in that corner translates the whole way down straightaway. So getting the most out of the car through that corner was really important to maintain a really good fast lap time there. What the ZR1 did for me to go find that 5.2 seconds above and beyond the record, the amount of downforce this car makes on the high-speed corners and the approachability and everything we did in the setup of this car to make it approachable, it only took me 3 attempts. And on the 3rd attempt is when I ran the 208.6.
That'll do! Let's go!
With Watkins Glen in a car that's this fast, it ends up falling to a lot of rhythm. The corners have a decent straight between them, but this car is so quick that all those corners become linked. So at Watkins Glen, you get to the bus stop after a long uphill run. You brake for the bus stop at peak speed. But from there, it's left, right, left, right. And the straights between turn 6 and 7, they look long with how fast it gets speed. You exit turn 6 and you're immediately into turn 7. You get out of turn 7, you're up over the hill and you're immediately into turn 8. You come out of turn 8 and you're immediately into turn 9. And it's just one after the other after the other. This car's got great flow and it transitions really well, so getting in and out of those left to right combinations, this car's really strong.
This is Road Atlanta Fast Laps Day 1, first attempt in red car, Chris Barber driving.
Road Atlanta is probably my favorite in the country. There's some very fast sections. The track is known for challenging cars with big power. There's 2 corners that really shined for the ZR1. It's turns 1 and turn 12, which are both extremely high-speed right-handers. Turn 1 is a somewhat blind turn-in. You have to go in committed to the speed, and then it's a huge confidence corner where you just really need to know and trust that the car is going to stick. It's very similar with turn 12, which is probably their most iconic corner. You're coming up a very steep hill, and you go under their bridge, which then drops downhill quite a bit. So it's this blind uphill that's pretty much at max lat. You drop over the hill crest, down the hill, and you're basically looking right at their building and a giant wall. That's extremely intimidating.
Yeah.
The ZR1 just really shined there.
I was the lucky guy that got to do 2 laps And it's mostly because at Virginia International Raceway, both configurations are pretty well known. So the full course, the perimeter course, is the traditional course there. The grand course is what Car and Driver started with, trying to emulate a Nürburgring within our country. One element, just the way we laid the schedule out, I was last. Right? Everyone else had done their job. So that's, a little added pressure when you're the anchor leg, essentially, that everyone else is beating their PR split, and you're coming in and, gonna finish the job. For VIR on the full course, the most demanding section is the high-speed S's. They are this flowing, really high-speed area where it's 165 miles per hour in this car turning in. So you have to be very precise on your marks. And then at the end of that is, to me, the hardest turn. It's called South Bend. And so to set that up, you have to get far enough right coming off of a right-hand turn. So you kind of have to pinch the exit but not give up speed to brake quickly and then turn in on this off-camber, really fast turn. So I was really happy that when I looked at the data, this car never dropped below 100 miles per hour there, which is something significant. You have to turn in with confidence.
Where this ranks both from a personal and a professional standpoint, it's second to none.
Mission accomplished. We went 5 for 5. These are obscenely big gaps that we just threw down on every track we picked.
It absolutely cements what the ZR1 is